I'll be your tour guide as we tour the Warrior House. A lot of things going on in this house, a lot of issues. We're getting through all types of problems. We're going to hear our first story right now. If you'll follow me. Love is what makes the world go around. Well, what if you're having a hard time finding love? What if everyone around you has found their perfect person, but you haven't? It's hard out there for a single woman. What does a lady have to do to get noticed? Introducing Cinderella.
What? Rachel McAllister's getting married? That ugly dog? Damn! See, ever since I was 5, I have been planning my wedding. I have been obsessed with the idea of Cinderella and a Prince Charming coming to sweep me off my feet and take me to his castle. Okay, maybe that's a little extreme. I mean, I really didn't expect a prince to sweep me off my feet and we ride off in a white horse under the sunset together to a faraway place. But the thought of it was great. Okay, the longer I dreamed about it, the less it came true. Are my standards too high? Or is there something wrong with me? Is there really no such thing as a true love? Or is it just a story that the crazy Grimm brothers just made up? Maybe it's too much to ask for a nice-looking, intelligent, heterosexual man with all his teeth, none of them gold, no baby mama drama, 0 to 1 child, with dreams and goals! Maybe it's too much to ask for, because I haven't found him yet. Men seem to be afraid of me. I don't know why. I want what I want. I don't think that's too demanding at all. Other men say I'm really cool and that I'm the marrying type. I'm the kind of girl they want to take home to their mother. Well, until then, can I get noticed? Can a sister get a little more than a buddy-buddy hug? Can I get some attention, please? Prince Charming, where are you? Can I find some love? Are you real? How many frogs do I have to kiss before I find my prince? Okay, this is gonna sound wrong, but I have seen some of the ugliest men. I'm sorry, excuse me, women with husbands. I'm talking ugly, and they have not married the finest specimens of men either. But they look so happy. Oh my gosh, I want that. I want a man that is proud to take me anywhere and everywhere. Thought of all of this is driving me crazy. I feel like my wedding dress is dry rotting in a closet somewhere. I even have dreams where my kids are waving goodbye and they're never coming back. I am going so crazy that my nails are brittle and breaking. Speaking of nails, I went to the spa the other day, my favorite spa, and I got my bi-monthly waxing and mani-pedi. And while my Monique is busy waxing my area, she all of a sudden says, "Girl, you got some gray hairs down there." And I looked at her and I said, "You've got to be kidding me, right?" And before I know it, I must have passed out. Because all of a sudden, she was asking me if I was okay, and I looked at her and I said, "Okay. I am absolutely not okay if my vajayjay is going gray. Something's got to change." I think I remember it was Socrates who said that we were once floating beings who were happy and whole. And then one day something happened, and we split apart at the area where our belly button is now. And we spend the rest of our lives searching for our other half to make us whole. Where is my other half? I am tired of hearing that New Edition song playing. You're not my kind of saying that my split half, other half, better hurry itself up before I'm gray all over. So from now on, I'm going to get monthly waxings instead of bi-monthly. And no one will ever see my gray hairs ever again.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cinderella. When you said your vows, you promised to stay together through better or worse, richer or poor, in sickness and in health. Well, it's time to keep those vows.
There's nothing worse than sitting in a doctor's office waiting to hear if you have cancer. It seems like it takes forever for them to just come back in the room and give you the answer. If it's yes, you start to think, will I lose my hair? Will I live to see my children graduate, get married? Will I ever meet my grandbabies? So many questions. Last night, I made love to my husband nice and slow, like it was our last time. We made love like the world was gonna end, like when we were in our 20s. Thank God our kids are in college because they did not need to hear all the noise that we were making. We ate breakfast in silence. I think we were scared of the news that we might hear today. And as he poured another cup of coffee, he says to me, I made a discovery last night. I discovered that you have a couple of gray hairs down there. And then he bust out laughing. The nerve! That's funny. But considering what we're facing, maybe it is a little funny. I laughed too. The doctor came back in the room and said that the lump is a malignant tumor. They want to do surgery to see if they can get it all, and they're fairly certain that they can. So I squeezed my husband's hand, and I looked at him and said, what should I do? He said, what should I do? I said, you should get the surgery. Do it. You see, my husband, he's an alpha male. He's the type of man that he won't go to the doctor unless he can't stop the bleeding. That's why when he felt something strange in his chest, when he was taking a shower a few months ago, I knew something was wrong. I mean, at first we thought it was a spider bite. Never in a million years did we think it was cancer. Cancer? Men don't get cancer, not breast cancer. That's something that only women get, right? It took him months to make the call. I reminded him daily. But being an alpha male, if it didn't hurt, why go? Then we read about Richard Roundtree, Shaft, and his battle with breast cancer. Now, something in that article must have resonated because that day he made the call. Now, we're sitting here faced with a decision on what it is that we need to do next. See, my husband, he's got to live. I cannot survive without him. I need him. So listen here, Cancer. You take your hands off my man's boobs. They belong to me. It is on. It is so on.
Ladies and gentlemen, boobs. We're coming into this next area here, into our dining area. Is there a time limit on true love? The next room. If we could just circle around this area right here. Is there a time limit on true love? I mean, is there an expiration date on it? One day you have your true love, your best friend, and the next day, you're gone. So what now? How do you get up in the morning when all you feel is hurt?
Seems like most days I can't even keep my head above water. I try and I try, but nothing seems to go right. And it's all because of that bastard. That's right. I call my children's father a bastard now. We met when I was 22, and I fell head over heels. I thought he was the end all and be all of everything. So when he got down on one knee and proposed, it was all I could do but just say, yes, yes, yes. I was so happy then and so in love. Our wedding, it was beautiful. Yeah, the sun was shining and the sky was crying tears of joy, and so were our parents. I thought the fantasy would never end. I had our first child, Brittany, about 6 months later, and then James the third, about a year after that. Life was great. We had 7 years of happiness. And then he left me. One day after dinner, James wanted some ice cream to celebrate the new house. He was so proud of this house. So he left to go to the store, and I kissed him as I usually do. But something was different about that kiss. I don't know if it was ESP or my heart just knew something was going to happen. It had been too long. He'd left over 2 hours ago and something wasn't right. So, right when I was about to pack the kids into the car to go look for him, the police showed up. James was in the hospital. A drunk driver ran a red light and hit his sedan, and he was in surgery. I rushed immediately over to the neighbor's house and I dropped off the kids. I didn't even know these neighbors. We just moved in, but I had to get to the hospital, so I got there and I sat in that waiting room all by myself for hours, just waiting and waiting. And finally, the doctor came out. She told us that James had a very small survival rate and that the next 24 hours were critical. I just got on my knees and I prayed. In the morning, James's mom and his brother showed up to join us, and My sister went to pick up the kids, and I stayed on my knees all day and prayed to God. Eventually, James did wake up, and he looked at me. The tube in the back of his throat kept him from being able to speak, but I immediately kissed him and told him how much I loved him, and he just looked at me and smiled, and he nodded. And then I saw his eyes roll to the back of his head, and he was gone. I screamed and told him to stay with us, to stay strong, and but he was gone just like that. I heard the flat line. It was like a movie. The doctors rushed in, tried to revive him, but it was too late. In that moment, I lost the love of my life. All I could think was, how dare he leave us? How could he? Leave me, leave Brittany, leave little Jane. He had the chance to recover, and he just gave up. He didn't stay with me. After that, everything was a blur. The wake, the funeral, all the damn chicken. I think I only said about 3 words to the kids for about a week. I was just in this daze. How could this be happening? How could I be alone in this big house with these 2 children? How could I lose my husband while he was eating damn ice cream? I can't even stand the sight of a sign for ice cream anymore. And I still can't believe how my life seems to be spinning out of control, and I'm just so worried because I don't know what to do next. I'm so worried. My hair is just falling out every day. Patches falling out everywhere. And I know my husband is up there laughing. This is what he's doing. Some days, it takes everything in me to just get out of bed and get dressed, get the kids ready for school, and act like it's a normal day. But there is nothing normal about our days. There is nothing normal about telling your 4-year-old little boy that his daddy's not coming home. And there is nothing normal about comforting your little girl at night because she's crying because she misses her daddy, when all you want to do is curl up in a ball and cry. But I can't. I have to keep going because life goes on. It has to go on. One day at a time, I have to find the strength to get up and move forward and tell my children that death is a part of life, but that mom's not going anywhere. And eventually there will be another day, another week. Soon we'll have another birthday, more Christmases and Thanksgivings, and I just have to take it one day at a time. One day at a time.
What if you found the guy, the one you think you could have a future with, but then you found out that there are other women
who thought they had a future with the same guy. Well, then what? There's only one thing left to do, and that's to take revenge.
I've been with Robert for about 2 years, and for the most part, things have been wonderful. He's very romantic and spontaneous. When I first met Robert, he swept me off my feet. He would plan late night rendezvous, come to my house and cook dinner, take me on quick getaways out of town. Things were wonderful until the day I went to the doctor. I told her I was having issues when I went to pee and that I was bleeding, but it wasn't time for my period. She asked me how long had this been going on, and I told her about a week or so. My doctor started asking a lot of questions. You know, personal questions about my sex life. What in the world? I was totally insulted. Robert said I should change doctors, and I almost did. Until I found the evidence. Just by luck, I came across a scrap piece of paper with a woman's name and number on it. Now, normally, that wouldn't ring a lot of bells. I mean, you run into an old friend and you're out of cars, etc., etc. There was something different about this scrap of paper. I mean, the way she wrote her number, and then at the bottom she wrote, anytime. That's interesting. So, I looked the number up on the internet. Rhonda Jackson. I now have her name and address. For about 2 days, I debated about going to see where this Rhonda Jackson lived. Then my doctor called me, and she told me on my last visit, she tested me for STDs. And I found out that I had gonorrhea. Before I knew what happened, I found myself sitting in front of Rhonda's house. And guess who drives up with that trick in his car? Robert. Now, there was a huge part of me that wanted to get out the car and start cussing and whooping ass, but I decided to play it calm. I mean, I could be overreacting, right? I mean, I didn't have real proof that he was cheating. Well, that was until I saw him put his tongue down her throat and grab her ass. They were so into each other that when they walked into the house, they didn't even see me. I followed them into the house. Now, the devil in me wanted to beat his head in and find a place to hide the body. But then I got a better idea. I walked out of her house, but I would be back. I went to the store. I spent about $3,000 on video equipment. Nanny cameras, the store clerk called them. I put 2 at his house. Wow, the things that I saw. The things that he did to her. Whew. I would have gotten hot if the mofo wouldn't have given me gonorrhea. But then one day, I noticed a different woman. Then another one. Then another one. What in the world? How does he have enough energy for all of us? So Mava JJ has 5 gray hairs for the 5 women that my boyfriend is screwing. Interesting. After about 2 weeks of watching tapes, I was ready to spring my trap. I went to see Rhonda. Let's just say I shocked the hell out of her. I told her all about Robert, how we met, how he gave me gonorrhea. Her mouth dropped open and she turned white as a ghost. I almost felt sorry for the poor child. But then she started screaming and calling me a liar in the face. Talking about, oh, how much she loved him and how he would never cheat on her. Then I showed her the tapes of the other women, the pictures I took of me and him, the close-up of the bite mark I left on his neck. Those pictures were in all the videos and the pictures. She broke down into tears. Then I asked her if she was ready for the next step in the plan. She nodded. After Rhonda found out that she too had gonorrhea, we decided to make Robert suffer. I sent to his job anonymously pictures of him with the 4 other women with the caption, "Do you know someone with gonorrhea?" Woo! He was pissed when he got home. I was sitting in my car across the street from his apartment, and I watched him fuss and cuss when he got home. So I just happened to pop over. He told me all about it. Oh, how I cried with him. Then Rhonda stopped by. His mouth dropped open. He babbled on and on, trying hard to explain. We told him it was okay. I mean, how could he choose just one of us? Then we dropped the bomb on him. We told him that we both had gonorrhea, and so did he. Oh, but the final blow came when Rhonda told him that one of the other 4 women he was with wasn't really a woman. Surprise! Woo! Then we just left him sobbing. I would have felt sorry for him if my alarm hadn't gone off to remind me to take my medicine. Oh well.
Ladies and gentlemen, review. There are a lot of studies that believe that a coma patient can hear what's going on around them. So what happens when you hear women hitting on your man? Do you expect him to be faithful with you laying right there? Well, back to your husband.
I may be struggling, but my husband is the best. He's been with me throughout this whole process. Ever since my accident, he's been right by my side. The doctors say they don't know why I haven't woken up from my coma yet. I'm breathing on my own, so why am I not awake? Doctors say that there's nothing that they can do, and that they have no answers for him. So he brought me home. At first, everyone from work, church, old friends and family were coming by to see me. But as time went on, people started to fade away, but the faithful few kept coming. But then, something went real wrong. First, Sister Sylvia came by with dinner like she does every week. I heard her talking to my husband. She told him that he looked like he needed a good hug. He said, "Thank you." And so they hugged. Then, all of a sudden, I heard what sounded like a kiss. I tried to open my eyes to see what was going on. But then I heard him say, "This can't happen again. I love my wife." She said, "Oh, I thought I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And she ran off. What the hell was she thinking, that slut? I'm right here. What seemed like days later, my cousin Marcia stopped by. Now, Marcia has always been a tramp, so it didn't even shock me what she did. She put her hand somewhere and made hubby gasp. He was stuttering. He said, get out, get out of my room. Get out. Oh, I know it's been 6 months since you've had any. Why don't you let me show you what it feels like to be a real man? He quickly got up. I heard the door open and close. He came into my room. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. I know you heard that. I'm so sorry for Marcia. Baby, you don't have to apologize for Marcia. That tramp cousin Lon's gonna pay for what she did. When my nurse came to bathe me, she started to laugh. Hubby came into my room and asked what was wrong. She pointed and said, I've never seen a coma patient's hair turn gray so fast. Look. He started laughing, and then he whispered in my ear, baby, you better come back soon. Your poo-poo hair is turning gray. What's the matter, baby? Are you worried about something? Hell yes, I'm worried about something. These tricks are trying to take my man. Now, what got the last straw on the camel's back was when I heard hubby scream. He hasn't screamed like that since my accident. I strained to try to get up to see what made him scream such ways. But then I heard the voice of the pastor's wife coming from the bedroom. What? He said, what are you doing in my bedroom? Oh my gosh, oh my God, you're naked. Catherine, you need to leave. Please leave. That heifer said, you need me and I need to feel wanted, so why don't you get up into this bed? Hold up, wait a minute, one gosh darn second. Are you trying to tell me that my pastor's wife is in my house, in my bed, naked? Oh, hell no. Oh, no. I need to get up out of this bed right now, God. God, you need to help me. Lord, God, you need to help me. I heard that door open and close quickly. He ran into my room. Baby, please come back to me. Please come back to me. He was crying. I hate to hear him cry. It breaks my heart. I tried to squeeze his hand. And then I tried to squeeze harder. I needed to do something. I even tried to cry. I just wanted him to know that I was there, that I was with him, that I was fighting to come back. I love you. I love you so much. Oh, God. Help me come back to the man that I love. I squeezed harder. More time. As hard As I opened my eyes, I said, I'm coming back to my hobby.
Oh, my baby. My baby.
Ladies and gentlemen. Some families look absolutely perfect. I mean, they just look like the perfect example of an American family. Great kids, a loving couple. Everything looks like a fairy tale. But what if it was all a facade? What if things weren't perfect, but very, very broken? And no one knew that you are really a fighter in your own home.
Who was she? Who was that woman? Oh, just wait till I get my hands on you.
I've been a fighter my whole life. Fought for everything I've ever owned. Trying to have my first bag of chips, my first girlfriend. To get my scholarship to college. To being drafted into the major leagues. Nothing was handed to me, and I like it like that. And now I have a killer career, earning more money than I could spend in 2 lifetimes. I have 3 beautiful children that love their daddy so much. I'm so proud to do for them like my dad did for me. We've been on magazine covers, done interviews, and are the toast of the town. People are proud to say that they know us. But what people don't know is I have to fight at home. Not every night, but I have to fight. I have to fight the mother of my children. One time my father sat me down when I was a kid and told me to never hit a girl, because no matter what happens, it'll be your fault. You walk away. I didn't understand what he was talking about then, but I understand now. I truly understand what he was talking about. There have been nights when I come home from practice and she amps on me, starts screaming and hollering at me about nothing. I didn't take out the trash. Well, isn't that what Susan's for? Why do we pay all that money if she don't take out the trash? When I said it, I got slapped. She tripped over a toy that me and one of the kids were playing with. And I got punched. One day this crazy chick is gonna kill me. But I can't tell anyone. I can't tell anyone that the bruises on my body aren't from me playing ball, but from wife beating on me. How do I tell people that? How do I tell the police that I don't beat her, that she beats on me? I've been so stressed about what she's going to do next, I started forgetting things. My mom told me that we needed a vacation, just the 2 of us, me and my wife. I'm scared that if I did go on vacation with her, I might not come back. I stood in the shower for over an hour one day just so I didn't have to see her. Just to let my body relax a little from where she hit me last night. I dried myself off and I saw it. Even my body's trying to hide the shame I felt inside. But the last straw broke when we were out to dinner. And I hugged the fan just a little too long. And she was just staring at me. I knew that I was going to get it when I got home. I felt like a kid that had touched something they shouldn't have. When we got home, I took the kids to bed, put them to sleep, and I came downstairs, and she was just staring at me, standing there, holding a pair of scissors. Who was she? She screamed. I got accused of cheating and everything else in the world just for giving a hug. She threw the scissors at me and it grazed my arm, but that wasn't enough. She came running at me like a bull charging. For such a tiny thing, she has a lot of force behind her. She knocked me into the wall, knocked the wind right out of me. And then she started punching me. I pushed her back, told her to stop, but she just kept on coming. So I grabbed her by the arms, threw her in the closet, shut the door, threw a chair in front of her, and sat down. I knew she couldn't get out. I sat there for at least 5 minutes.
Let me out of here! Wait till I get out of here!
Then I heard her screaming, "Someone help me, please, help me, he's trying to kill me. Damn it, the bitch has called the police!" I could hear the sirens coming. How do I explain to them that she was attacking me? How do I explain that the bruises on her arms weren't from me hitting her, but me trying to hold her back from hitting me? Would they believe me? I mean, I'm a major league star. What is this going to do to my reputation? What is this going to do to my kids? What is this going to do to my kids? How do I teach my kids to be good, strong men when I'm in a corner trying not to get beat by their mom? I've never hit a woman. But tonight, I might have to change that.
Ladies and gentlemen, fighter. She thought that she'd marry the man that could give her anything. But she learns that the only person's actions that you can control are your own. So who is left alone and who is left lonely?
From the moment I said I do, I knew I had made a mistake. A huge mistake. It wasn't just the way she looked at me, it was the feeling I had. Must be what a male spider feels like when he's walked into the trap of a black widow spider. A goner.
When he put this ring on my finger, I knew I had it all. A handsome husband, a beautiful house, a great job. You know, what more could a woman want? My husband would do anything for me. Anything.
I've loved Jasmine since the first moment I kissed her. She had me wrapped around her pinky finger. She wanted it. I'd do my damnedest to get it. I worked 2 jobs to make sure she had the finest things.
I loved Eric from the moment I saw him. From the moment I laid my eyes on this sexy man, I knew I had to have him. The longer we were together, I knew I had to control him in order to keep him. See, a man this fine, every woman wants him. If you control him, then he'll never stray.
When I got ready to propose, I got a 3rd job just to afford the down payment on her ring. 3-carat diamond platinum ring. My pockets hurt every time I look at that damn ring. The smile on her face made it worth it.
My ring is perfect. It's everything I ever dreamed of. Look how it sparkles in the light. Perfection.
Now, please understand, she told me what ring she wanted if we ever got married. She even had it put on hold at the store, so it wasn't a look of excitement. It was a look of...
Thank God he didn't jack this up.
Because according to her, I can only do things right when she tells me what to do.
Guess I picked out my ring. I knew exactly what I wanted, and there was no need to hope and wait and see what he'd do. I mean, Eric is sexy, but he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, if you know what I mean.
First I thought it was cute. But the longer we were together, the less cute it became. Now I'm stuck. Stuck with this complaining, loud, hateful woman.
When I was a little girl, I learned that if a woman ruled her home and her husband, the house would be happy. That's what my mother did with my father. That's what my grandmother did with her husband. That's what my aunt did with her husband, and they are all still married. My best friend Crystal's mom did not rule her house, and her husband strayed, and now she has 3 half-brothers. That is not going to happen in this family.
My boys told me about her. I was so in love, I didn't listen. I overlooked everything. I ignored the fact that she was possessive, jealous, that I can't have a moment to myself without her complaining.
He had the nerve to want to go out and do stuff without me, to not answer when I call. Excuse me, but if we are a couple, why do you want to do stuff without me? I don't do stuff without him. At least I don't say when, where, and with whom. I had to nip that in the bud. Please. Running around with your boys and not telling me? I don't think so. I think I have an idea about how I can get you to stay at home a little longer.
Now she wants us to have a baby. Have a little one.
I started taking my temperature, taking vitamin pills, reading on the internet about all the best times, positions, and places to get pregnant.
I felt like a machine. She'd attack me the minute I walked into the house. One time she showed up at my job and jumped me in my office. When she was done, she walked away like nothing had happened.
Anytime my body was ready to make a baby, I was on him. You better get it up.
I feel so violated. One time she was down there trying to get me excited. At this point, it would take a lot to get me excited. She came up laughing.
Babe, you know you're turning gray down here. Is your dick worried that after the baby comes, he's not gonna get any? He should be worried, because he ain't gonna get any after I have this baby. Not at least until I'm ready for a little something something.
Now my dick is worried that you're gonna kill me trying to make a baby. I checked myself out later that night. I realized I didn't have 1 or 2 gray hairs. I was straight up salt and pepper. I'm only 32. My pubic hair shouldn't look like that.
What Eric didn't know is I was just as gray down there as he was. Maybe more. But he would never know, because I get my stuff waxed every 3 weeks. And next month, permanent hair removal. No one will ever see those gray hairs.
I had a dream about me, Jasmine, and a little baby. I saw Jasmine screaming and yelling at the baby, making the baby do everything she said. And the child was dancing like a little monkey. Then there was more than one child. There was 2, then 3, then 6. They were like the Jackson kids on speed. I woke up in a cold sweat.
I had this dream that I was an old lady, and I was going through my photo albums, and there were all these pictures of Eric and me. Our wedding, our honeymoon, our first house, and then there were all these blank pages. Nothing. There were no pictures of any kids. And then I looked up on the wall, and there were just pictures of Eric and me. Nothing, no kids in any pictures on the walls. Just Eric with that silly grin. I woke up screaming.
I knew I had to put a stop to it before it happened, and that wasn't a dream. That was a vision of what was going to happen next. Did John Gosling have that same vision when his wife got pregnant? I knew I had to do something. I would not let her treat another human being the way she treats me. Hell no.
Maybe we weren't meant to be together. Is God sending me a sign?
So I made an appointment. Clipped and burned. That's right, I got a vasectomy. All my parts will work perfectly, but no babies. If I'm stuck with that bitch, so be it. But I'll be damned if I let her torture another human being.
Does this mean I'm a failure? Does this mean for the first time in my family's history that a man has gotten the better of a woman? I don't understand. I did everything right. So why do I feel so lonely? What did I do wrong? I followed the plan. Do I admit defeat and move on?
I can get my vasectomy reversed from my second marriage. And there will be a second marriage. I got the papers right here.
I've loved Eric since the moment I saw him. What am I going to do now?
Ladies and gentlemen, alone and lonely. If you always have your eyes on the prize, can you see what's around you? We all need someone to support us, but how many is too many? And what happens when you get banned from the one you want the most?
The actress Lisa Ray once said, in high school she was digging for gold. And now she's at platinum status. Well, she might dig, but I mine. I mine for diamonds. I got a ring, 3 carats. Bracelet worth over $8,000. And these earrings, 2 carats. But don't get it twisted. When I go mining, I'm looking for the biggest and best diamonds that are available. My supporters make sure I get everything I want and need. So my supporters, I have 3 of them. We'll call them A, B, and C. Now, C is at the bottom of the list because, well, frankly, they don't make the money my other 2 supporters do. So they take care of things like cable bill, cell phone bill, you know, small stuff. I will say they work hard to get it, but I only deal with C a couple times a month. Maybe when they get that promotion at work, we can talk about an upgrade. Now, supporter B is mad cool. They pay for things like car payment, rent, and they all think accordingly. See, I wear special stuff. B likes me in black, I like to wear it. And then we have A, who's at the top of this list, not just because they make the most money, but because they treat me the best. When I first started seeing A, they gave me a debit card. Fill it up monthly, make sure I get everything I want and need. A takes me on trips, buys me designer clothes, and of course my most favorite thing in this world, diamonds. Seriously, one time A brought me a diamond straight from the mine, unpolished. Can you believe it? Yeah, A treats me good. Now don't get it twisted. I'm not one of these people who depends on someone else to take care of me all the time. I have my own business. I make good money. But I bank my money. I mean, I let my supporters spend theirs. Why would I spend mine? Anyway, everything was great until the bottom fell out. So I was expecting a phone call one day. Call never came. Which is crazy because B always calls before they come over. So when they finally arrive, they tell me, your phone's temporarily disconnected. Which is a shock to me because I know the bill has been paid. So I call the phone company up. They tell me I've been banned from the company. Now somebody explain to me, how do you get banned from a cell phone company? I mean, did I say President Bomb or Al Qaeda or something crazy like that? I don't think so. Anyway, they started talking about bad numbers and roaming and towers and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, they let me keep my number for another 7 days and then get a new one. They got it when the business line. I just use this number for my supporters. But I do have to give all of them a new number. Great. So I called up supporter A. Because we had to discuss our upcoming trip to Miami. And wifey answers the phone. She tells me I'm banned from calling her husband. Because she knows all about our relationship and that he won't be going on any more trips with me. Can you believe that? Oh, get this. She also says, make sure you use the rest of the money on that car because it's getting canceled too. Oh, and she works for the cell phone company and she's the one who disconnected my phone. I mean, can you believe it? Can you believe she would do that to me? I mean, who does she think she is? Just because she's his wife doesn't mean she has any say in anything. I mean, don't she understand that's my man? I'm just loaning him out for a little while. He's going to leave her and come be with me. So anyway, I finally talked to A. And of course, he's apologizing and saying things have changed and we can't see each other anymore and no more trips. Gotta admit, I was a little crushed. I mean, out of all my supporters, he's the one I cared about the most. So I needed to clear my head a little bit, call up B. And B tells me he can't come over because he needs to spend more time with his family. I mean, really, what's going on? Why is this happening to me? I was so stressed out, I started finding gray hairs in my head and my, yeah. So I took a deep breath and I called C. And of course, C comes right over and he takes me to dinner. I mean, of course, I gave him an edited version of the story, but C really listened. Well, we talked all night. Fell asleep in his arms. You know, come to think of it, C is the only one who actually listens. He's the only one who calls just to talk and hang out. The only one who seems to enjoy spending time with me outside of sex. Maybe C could be the one. Maybe. I'll admit, for a minute I was all gone. I was all for it. Until I met my new supporter. And let me tell you, he's got big money. And his wife has another lover, so it's perfect. So of course, C got bumped up to B. And maybe one day they'll be A. But not today. Today I need more diamonds.
Ladies and gentlemen, band. Well, we're getting ready to see a whole entirely different story in the House of Worried. In today's society, a simple ride to the movies can turn into a news story. Young black men are dying on our streets from the hands of other young men and some from police. Parents constantly sit in fear and are always afraid.
It's 5 minutes before curfew, and he's not home yet. I know my wife is about to jump out her skin.
It's almost curfew time, and we haven't heard from him. He knows that I want him to call when he's on his way home. Where is he?
I know my wife is about to freak out, because she can't stay calm. She's a bundle of nerves.
Every time he leaves, I have a wave of fear that covers me. Sometimes it suffocates me so bad that I can hardly breathe. My husband just sits there like a bump on a log. Doesn't care about anything. He's a boy, he says. He'll be fine. But it's my baby.
When he leaves, I have to admit, I'm a little afraid that it could be the last time that I see my son. But I have to be strong for my wife and for him. I can't walk around with this fear showing.
Every day on the news, there's a new story about a child being hurt or killed over some foolishness. I don't know how I would handle it if he ever got hurt over some unnecessary mess. I need for him to treat himself and others like their lives are important. If his life isn't important to anyone else, it's important to me.
This fear, it's a daily reality of what's going on in these streets. But I can't keep him in a bubble in this house.
I wish I could keep him in a bubble.
I want my son to grow up to be the strong man that I raised him to be. I want him to grow old. I want to see my grandchildren. And maybe my great-grandchildren.
My nerves have gotten so bad over this past year that
I'm losing all of my hair everywhere. Soon I won't have to worry about gray hair because
I won't have any hair. I'm now wearing wigs almost every day. My beautician told me I need to relax before I lose all of my hair.
I know. Maybe we should go on a vacation. I would love to take her on a trip. But I know she wouldn't relax while we're gone.
Relax? How can I relax? I don't want my son to become a trending topic on the news.
Facebook.
On Twitter.
I don't want my son to become a hashtag.
I have to think positive. I tell him to stay focused and not lose his faith, and I have to do the same thing or it doesn't work. Everything's going to be all right.
Everything's going to be okay. I know he's coming home. I just know it.
I don't want my husband to think I'm overreacting, so I'm going to just sit here.
She's sitting there trying to be brave. I know I should comfort her, but that's nothing I can say to take away her anxiety. Everything's going to be all right.
Oh my Lord, why do I feel so afraid right this minute?
I just had a wave of fear that just hit me.
It's
nothing.
Fear and afraid. Being a woman of color married into another culture is hard enough in regular circumstances. But when you add a crown to the mix, it opens up another type of Pandora's box. Who has the right to tell you what you can do with your body? Crown or no crown, it is your body. Who really has control?
It's my wedding day. The day I've dreamed about my whole life. Everything's perfect. My dress, flowers, the cake. Everything's just how I dreamed. Now my fear is setting in. In a few hours, I will become a princess. No, I won't be a princess for a day like most brides dream of. No, I will actually become a princess. I will have a tiara placed on my head, and I will forever wear one. And then one day I will become queen. And my, I'll be totally in control. That scares me so much, much more than getting married. I will have the power to control people's lives. Wow. But before I get married, I have to deal with his mother. Well, actually his mother's people. You know, I was told that we shouldn't have any babies because a biracial child cannot run the country. Or, if we really want children, then we should just adopt. But those children can't run the country. It will go to his nephew. Then, I was told, you know, if I try and sneak and get pregnant, steps have already been put into place to make sure that that doesn't happen. Then I was told I should just leave him because the country would never ever accept me as queen and the whole monarchy would collapse. Edward would make a great king, but not with me on his arm. The more they went on and on, the more I just nodded my head. I mean, I have to admit, the first time I heard that kind of talk, it got to me. Could I make a good princess or a queen? I mean, could I help rule a country? I mean, I wasn't Cinderella or Snow White, so this might not be a good thing. My last doctor's appointment, to make sure that I was still a virgin. Oh, yeah, that's right. I had to take tests to make sure that I wasn't spoiled. And their faces were crushed when they couldn't hold that against me. Edward and I haven't done it yet. But anyway, the doctor, she checked me and everything was the same, and she looked up at me and she smiled. I asked her why she was smiling, and she said, "They've got you so stressed that your vagina's turned grey." I saw 4 grey hairs. That is a shame. And I decided right then and there I'm not going to let them stress me anymore. I mean, how am I supposed to have sex with my husband for the first time with a grey hoo-hoo? Really? I'm going to have everything I want, including children. So tonight, after the vows have been said, the toasts have been made, and everyone has danced until their feet hurt, I'm going to shag my husband every way I can. I've read every kind of book there is. I'm getting pregnant on my honeymoon. Just wait. 9 months from now, I'll have a beautiful biracial baby in my arms, and if I'm lucky, it'll be a set of twins just to piss off his mother and her people. Edward better take his vitamins. I am going to wear him out. I'll be totally in control. Take that, Queen Mom.
Ladies and gentlemen, control.
each story was well done, and I liked the venue, the different stories in different rooms. I also liked the details, the rooms chosen for each story, and the pictures of the husband and wife on the tables in the different room where they were husband and wives involved, and there was a picture of those two actors. That was noticeable for me because I noticed detail. And the actors were excellent. I think one of my favorites was the story about the engagement, the ring, and I liked that one a lot. Of course, the one that was most touching for me was when she lost her husband. Mm-hmm. I could identify with that. But back to the detail, in that, I like the idea that she was doing something as she told the story, setting the table. I like the attention to details. And the one with the wedding dress, the details there was the wedding dress, and I noticed the shoes down on the floor, the beautiful shoes that went with the wedding dress. And that actor's British accent was superb. I found out later that she was from Virginia. Mm-hmm. But that was one of my favorites. And the other thing was I liked the stories. Some you knew what they were all about from the beginning, but some had a hidden message. Like the one where the young man had 3 supporters, A, B, and C. And at the beginning, I assumed that he was a gigolo and that his supporters were older women or younger women or women. And then I found out in the midst of the story that he was actually gay. So I like that subtle part of that story, and the same with the one with the cancer. I assumed when it started off, I think that one was called The Boobs. Mm-hmm. I assumed that the wife had the cancer, the breast cancer. And a lot of people don't know that men have breast cancer. And a lot of people forget that men can have breast cancer. So I like the ones with the subtle message, the hidden message that came out later during the story. So all in all, I gave all the stories an A+, and I would go back to a similar setting. I really like going from room to room.
The two that most touched me was the woman who had lost her husband in the car accident, and about how she had to go on living and kind of still, and I guess explain to the children what had occurred and all that sort of thing, because that touched me very personally, because my mother died when I was 2 and my father had to carry on, and so it took me back into the feeling that, and she did an excellent job, excellent. I mean, she pretty much brought me to tears in her presentation, so I thought that was fantastic. And then the other couple worrying about their sons, having 3 sons, I felt all those emotions, and the dad was on point. We try to say they're a boy, they can handle it, to soothe the mother, but we have those same worries. So again, I thought that was it was real life stuff. It was real life stuff, and I think for us to kind of get back to our humanity, we need to focus on real life and not a lot of the bullshit that we see in other mediums.
Overall, I thought it was a great series of monologues, interesting concept that highlighted the manner in which there were, I believe, 10 different monologues that were attached under the theme of worried. Thought that all of the performances were excellent, and looking forward to attending another production written by Renee Nixon. But overall, thumbs up.
I thought the play was excellent. I loved all of the scenes. I think the scene with the young lady who lost her husband was the most emotional one. Yeah, that one. But I thought all of them were good. I don't know, it's hard to pick which one I would say was the best, but they were all exceptional performers. I loved the venue. I thought that was a fabulous idea. If the acting had not been so good, I probably would have spent a lot more time also looking at the house. But I thought the whole thing was just done well. Awesome.
Was that surprising?
Yeah, a little bit, but I had heard of it, but it's surprising. I thought that the boobs, I got a little twist there because I was thinking it was her at first. And of course we got the twist in the other closet because I thought he was talking about 3 chicks and he was talking about A, B, and C guys. So that was good too. But I really, yeah. That's what made it so good, the fact that you didn't know exactly where they were going.
So, out of all the performances, which one did you relate to the most?
Probably the couple that was waiting for the son after, having 3 sons and always worrying when they were out or driving and going places. So definitely. And I was truly the worrier, and he would have been like the dad, it's okay, not curfews are not a big deal, all of that.
I loved the show last night. It was so cool. It was really a highlight for me. I especially liked walking into the rooms, and at first I was like, oh, here we're in a room, and I guess, oh, there's the character. I wonder what they're going to say. But by the end of all of the vignettes, I was totally into it, and I completely forgot that it was a show. And I was looking at all of the actors and actresses like it was really their house and really their problem, and I was like, oh my goodness. And especially the young man who was the Major League Baseball player, I had to stop myself from going over to him and saying, don't worry, things will be just fine. You just need to get a divorce. And I thought it was so neat. It was great. And the other one that really stuck out in my mind, at least, was the parents waiting for the son to come home, because that's where I live. And I told Renee when she wrote that vignette, I'm sure she was stealing ideas that I had given her. It was so much reflected exactly the way I feel when my children go out and I'm waiting for them to come home. It was just. The whole thing was so realistic to me, and I just kept coming back to me again and again how that really wasn't the house where all these people were, and they weren't really real people. They were characters.
I love the play. I love the fact that it was a tour from room to room throughout this gorgeous house, and it seemed like everything was set exactly the way it was supposed to be, like with the mom that lost her husband, and she was setting up the dining room table, and it seemed like it fit, the scenario that she was talking about, and it was wonderful, well thought out, well acted. It was just enjoyable. My daughter, 16, has a short attention span, but she loved it, so it was good. Yes, it was one in one of the bedrooms, and she had caught her boyfriend cheating. That was hilarious. And just, the fact that she got vengeance and was getting back at him, that was hilarious. And there was a running theme throughout every single one, so that was funny too. So it was good. It was good.
Hey, this is Callie Douglas, just giving my 2 cents on Worried, and certainly I had a different perspective than most people. I got to see it twice, been the tour guide. I found it to be absolutely compelling. I was, the first go around, was my first time hearing it. So I was really interested to know the stories. Cinderella started us off, and, her and her ordeal. And, when she got to the point about she sees really nice looking men with ugly girls, and she said, ugly. I said, oh my God, I thought that same thing before. But hey, you can't tell your heart who to love. And then, of course, Boobs was about breast cancer. And at first, when she was doing the dialogue, I really thought it was about her having cancer. But as it went on, I found out it was him, her husband, who had cancer. And that made it, for a second, I was like, what? I shook my head. And it was just compelling to know that men have the same things that we have going on with us. And of course, with the death of Hurt, next coming up was really something, to lose the husband on the way buying some ice cream, and to be raising 2 kids in the life that you thought was going to be great. And we traveled upstairs to even more compelling stories. One of my favorite one was Alone and Lonely. That was a dialogue that I found to be completely interesting, to say the least. You can't control anybody. At least you think you control them, and then turns out you really don't. They actually control the situation. They know what you're doing. They have peeked your card. And I would say my favorite, not because the dialogue was maybe so dramatic, so much more dramatic than the other, was Crowned. And the reason why that was is because as she, portrayed how she felt about being a crowned person and being a biracial, meaning she was marrying someone that wasn't her same ethnicity. She was speaking like she was from London and just talked like that. And I thought, oh my God, where did they find this lady at? I love her accent. And then I said, where are you from? She said, oh, from South Virginia. I said, what? Listen, we all had our mouths dropped wide open. This was an absolutely awesome thing. Worried. It was so much to be worried about that when I walked out there, I had a smile on my face. You'll enjoy it. Go see it next time when it comes around to Raleigh or Durham or an area near you.